Welcome to another edition of Coffee, Eggs and Inspiration. Today we're going to take a trip. In this video we're going to drive from the Côte d'Azur in the south of France all the way up into the French Alps to Castellane. Let's go. One of the great things of this part of France, the Côte d'Azur, just to the southeast, close to the border of Italy, is that you can go from a wonderful sunny climate like this with swimming and beaches close by in the Mediterranean into the Alps, and that's why it's called the Alpes Maritimes, or the alpine area around the sea Alps, in other words. So you can actually swim in the Med and ski in the same day. And today's journey will take us all the way to Castellane, which has the well-known trait of being one of the smallest, I think the smallest prefectures in France, with a population of just 1,500. But the thing I love about it is it's kind of the gateway to the Gorge de Verdon, which is one of the great gorges of France, and a wonderful sort of beautiful mountain river that runs through it, and a really, really high church that you'll see pictures of. Navigation settings on, top down, ready to go. Well, we're now at almost 1,000 meters up, and the temperature's dropped from 22 degrees to 18 degrees, still lovely and sunny, so nice and warm. 984 meters to be exact. We're at the Col de la Faye, or Faye, by the looks of things. I think it's got an accent, but one of the very many mountain passes on the route Napoleon between the coast, the Côte d'Azur, which is behind me, and some of the gorges and mountainous regions of the Alpes Maritimes. And we're not far off the snow line. You can see behind me on this hill, there is the snow line, beyond which there's very little in the way of trees and shrubs, just sort of rocky stuff, and obviously in the winter will be covered by snow. The route Napoleon became known or named as such because that's the route Napoleon took when he landed in Juan-les-Pins from his exile. At the time it was a pretty hostile environment, so he wanted to take an irregular route with his army, chose this one, and that gave him the safety that he needed on his route up north. The view from up here is quite spectacular. I'm going to just focus on that for a second. You can see in the distance the Mediterranean, and the land masses. I don't know if they're visible, sort of here, if that works, is Antibes, which is a peninsula that sticks out between Cannes and Nice in the south of France, and then beyond that you can just see Ile Saint-Honorat and Ile Sainte-Marguerite, the two islands just off the Antibes and Cannes coast. Wonderful place to take a boat and have lunch on the water on a great sunny day. One thing I adore about this area of France are the small little lush mountain passes like the one that we're in at the moment, just meadows. It's very green up here, there's obviously a little bit more rainfall, and these spectacular mountains or ridges behind us. There's a site like this, trust me, around every corner, so it's hard to pick what to film and what not to film. Another mountain pass, another spectacular view here. This one here reminds me of El Capitan in Yosemite National Park, one of the great sights of this part of France. Rock climbing, as you can probably guess from the terrain around here, is very, very popular. So you see a lot of people going up on these faces. Well, here we are in the heart of Castellane, in the main square here. There's a little market going on, which is lovely to see, but just the views looking around the square are spectacular. Probably the most famous of which is the rock behind me. And if you look really carefully, you should see a church at the top of that. That's Notre Dame de Roc. creatively named, and it stood there rather majestically overlooking the town of Castellane since the 15th century. This, like many towns in the area, is a medieval town. Lots of little alleyways and nooks and crannies, mostly popular with tourists these days, though there is a population, a permanent population of about 1,500. So quite a small town, but very quaint. Well, after a wonderful lunch of savoury pancakes, or galette as they're called here, we took the small winding road that took us out to the dam. And the dam is famous for the largest sundial in the world, apparently, but also holds a spectacular lake. The lake is called Lac de Jourdain, and here you see having a bit of fun with the drone. There's the dam there, and you see the colour of the water there, this wonderful turquoise hue, which is the giveaway sign of snowmelt or glacial melt. It comes down and just gives you this luminous colour. So fantastic to stop there, and then took the drive home, which itself was spectacular. Well, back home safe and sound after a wonderful day, a wonderfully scenic drive home, just in time for an aperitif. So look, if you are down this way in the Côte d'Azur, Nice, Cannes, Antibes, Mougins, Valbonne, any of these places, don't just go to the Med, get up into the hills. It's absolutely beautiful. Thanks for coming with me.